Howdy do. So this doesn't happen often, but I am back at Mother's for the second day in a row. I just can't get enough of this stuff. Having a Mother's MILF contest. Now, I know I did a video for this yesterday, so I didn't necessarily need to do one today, but I want to spend some quality time at Mother's today, so I'm going to do a few, just string them all together in one long video. There's probably a beer you ought to finish with, but it is so complex and so amazing to really feel all of it. I wanted to start with it. The nose on this is just simply gorgeous. I mean, I can't express how. I don't have enough words to tell you how incredible the nose is on this beer. You do feel the oak from the various barrels of rum, sherry, brandy, bourbon, and whiskey barrels that are in this, and you feel all of that on the nose. Now I let this sit for about 10 minutes before I haven't even taken a drink yet. Just let it sit because it comes out a little cold. So I noticed yesterday when I started it cold that I was really feeling the sherry barrel the most, and then as I let it warm, I was feeling more of the bourbon and rum barrel specifically kind of came out. But again, as this is still a little chilly on the nose, I am feeling a lot of that sherry barrel as well again. Some of that bourbon is shining. Oh yeah, wow. It's also brewed with cocoa nibs and raisins, and you feel all that. You feel a lot of big cocoa up front. It's very smooth. The texture is very silky. You get that deep cocoa with just slight hints of coffee mixed in there, and where you feel those raisins, for me anyway, it's right at the end. Right in the finish. It kind of blends with the earthy hops to kind of break up any sweetness so it doesn't become too big, too sweet, too cloying. 11%, 50 IBUs, I believe, are the stats on it. It's just a gorgeous beer from top to finish. From top to bottom, I meant to say. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to find the word to express how smooth and how creamy and how silky that chocolate feels. And then just got it right at the end is where I really feel a lot of the raisin. And then I'm feeling, again, where I noticed the sherry barrel and the aroma, I feel a lot of that sherry barrel right in the finish as well. Through it all, you do get hints of the bourbon, the whiskey, the rum, the brandy. I'm not feeling necessarily any vanilla from the bourbon, but it's probably getting swallowed up from everything else. I do feel some of that rum, some of the texture from that rum that makes it very interesting. It's just a great complex beer. And yet it's somehow approachable. It's not overwhelming, and that's what makes it amazing. This is one of my, top beers of all time. Of course, that changes seasonally for me, but this time of year, I mean, for me, this is the epitome of a barrel-aged imperial stout. So there you go. This time to beer whisper. I'll be back later with something else. A quick addendum here as I'm finishing my Mother's MILF here in Boise, Texas. Again, much like yesterday, as I let this really warm up a bit. And yesterday when I ordered it, I just started drinking it immediately. This time I took my time. I waited about 10 minutes before I even started drinking it. And right now it's just about right, I would think. You really feel the barrel. I mean, the rum, brandy, sherry, whiskey, bourbon. You really feel all that. More so as it warms up, and it kind of blends with that just great smooth, silky chocolate. The cocoa nib is brewed with. And I wasn't getting a lot of it at first, but now I am feeling some of that raisin on the nose. Again, when I was cold, I was feeling a lot of those sherry barrel notes on the nose, and now I'm not feeling them as much. It feels more cohesive. I'm getting just a nice blend of all of the different barrels. Oh yeah, oh golly, that's good. Yeah, again, even on the flavor early on, the sherry kind of dominates when it's cold. When it warms up, all those barrels kind of blend together cohesively. giving you this great big gorgeous 11% imperial stout aged in rum, bourbon, sherry, brandy, whiskey barrels, aged brewed with cocoa nibs and raisins. The thing is just amazing. This time to beer whisperer. I'll be back later. Well, how do you do, Buckaroos? I'm back with beer number 2 at Mother's, and you know, much like some of the mugs I have at home, this is a left-handed mug too. I make the joke it's a left-handed mug because I have to hold it with my left hand for you to see the logo. But with my right hand, it's going the other way. It's a joke, people. I'm not sure. Anyway, it's a left-handed mug. This is the vanilla winter grind. Winter grind. It's getting loud up in here. The winter grind is a coffee stout that they do seasonally this time of year. What I'm having here is the vanilla version. It runs $6. So this is a pint, they say. I'm going to assume that probably holds 16 ounces. It looks like a coffee cup. You do get a lot of coffee on the nose, and I am starting some of the vanilla. I'm getting something interesting, almost there's some peppery, almost chili-like notes on the nose. I know it doesn't have chilies in it as far as I know, but there is some peppery-like notes on the nose. It's very interesting. Anyway, let's take a drink now. Oh, God. Oh, it's nice. Winter Grind is a great coffee stout. It's one of my personal favorites. You just get that big, rich coffee up front. I'm going to let this warm up a little bit because right now, to be honest, I'm not getting as much vanilla as I would personally like for something called vanilla. But there is some vanilla in there. But that being said, I mean, it's still nice because you feel a lot of coffee. It's very creamy. It's just a very nice coffee stout. Again, how much you like beer is going to depend on how much you like coffee stouts. This one is coffee. I mean, it's great big. It's up in your face. It's not a subtle coffee stout at all. It means to be a coffee stout. This is a coffee stout for coffee and stout lovers. So there you go. I'm going to let this warm, and I'll be back with more notes here in a little bit. Well, how do you do? So let this warm up a little bit. I finished my Mother's Milk, which is maybe why I'm getting a little giddy at this point. This is my first beer of the day, by the way, but it is 11% 50 IBU. Now I switched to the winter grind, the vanilla winter grind to be more specific. I believe that's only 6%, so it's rather mellow. The coffee on the nose is gorgeous. Now I did a quick video when I first got it, and I said the vanilla seemed very light. As I've let this warm a little bit, that vanilla has become more apparent. I was feeling some chili-like notes on the nose. I'm still getting a little more. I am feeling some big pepper notes. But it works. You do feel a coffee. You do feel some vanilla. Oh gosh, it's gorgeous. Yeah, you know what? As I've let it warm, I am feeling more of that vanilla. It is rather subtle. It's not big in your face, but it is there. It kind of helps to kind of just kind of cream up that beer and add just a hint of sweetness. It's very nice. It is one of my favorite winter stouts. One of my favorite coffee stouts is Winter Grind is, but this vanilla version I think I really like a lot because I'm just a fan of vanilla. When I make coffee at home, I have a French press and I grind the beans, and then what I typically like to do is take about an ounce or a shot. I support the shot glass. I take a shot of vanilla syrup and I pour it on the vanilla beans, and I let that sit for a few minutes, about 10 to 15 minutes. And then I let the coffee brew around it. And what I get is very similar to this, but that's coffee. This is beer, and it's 6%. If I could somehow make my coffee at home 6%, that'd be wonderful. So there you go. Hey, I'm having... I finished the mother's winter grind. I finished the mother's MILF. See, I'm losing it already. I finished the mother's MILF. I'm working on my winter grind. I think I'm going to have a Making Trouble next. So there you go. I'm on the Beer Whisperer. We'll talk about it. Well, how do you do, Buckaroos? I'm still hanging out with mothers. I'm trying to work through a few. I've had the milk, I've had the vanilla, whatever. Now I'm Making Trouble. Making Trouble is one of their double IPAs. The other is Doozy. Doozy's a little lighter in body, more tropical fruit. But this one, I think they kind of worked on this over the years. Started as Troublemaker. Making Trouble, this feels a little... The color's lighter anyway than what the original Troublemaker was. 9.2%. They don't have the IBUs listed on the board there. I had a bottle the other day. I believe it said 90, but I'm not quite sure on that. So don't quote me. But I believe it's 90. The aromas are very nice on this. I'm getting a lot of grapefruit. I'm going to say mango just because. Why not, man? I'm going to have a drink. Oh, yeah, it's very nice. Take another drink. I'm going to give you some flavors here. A lot of malt going on, a lot of hops going on. It is one of the more well-balanced double IPAs on the market these days. It's become a trend to go crazy on the hop end, take that body weight down, so it's incredibly unbalanced. That's what a lot of hop heads like these days. And I have to admit myself, there's a few of those beers that I do like, but it's nice to have an IPA like this that is really well put together and is balanced. It's malty and sticky early on. Until it gives way to those beautiful hop notes. I'm getting a lot of peppery notes. I'm not going to say pine. I'm not sure if I'm actually getting that, but I'm getting a lot of big peppery notes. It dries up beautifully at the end. I mean, there are some fruit stuff going on in there, like most of these IPAs these days. It's not a typical fruit salad or tropical fruit salad, as I like to describe a lot of them. But there are those fruit notes that you expect to find in a beer like this. But what I like about it, again, is the balance of it. It just puts everything together well. And then it just dries up so nicely right at the end. It's just, thanks man, I appreciate it. It's just a nice double IPA all around. It runs about $10 a 22-ounce bomber at most stores. The 10-ounce pour was $6, considering it's a 9.2 double IPA. I think it's just fine. It's time to do it. I'll let this warm up a bit and maybe back a little bit with another. Hey, dude. So I'm back. So I've noticed as I've let this warm up again, some other notes are shining through. I notice I'm getting more fruit on the nose. I'm also, again, as I let this warm up a little bit more, I'm feeling some apricot-like notes in the body of it, as well as I'm getting more fruit notes on the hop end as well. I'm still feeling those peppery notes in a big way. It's just nice. I get that stone fruit, that apricot here, mixed with some various other notes. I mean, some grapefruit, some mango. don't know, who knows what else. There's some other things going on. But then there's some peppery-like notes to kind of break it all up. And then it finishes very dry and clean right at the end. It's just a nice beer. I really like this one a lot. I do. You know, I've sent folks the doozy, which is more of that tropical fruit. And that seems to be more popular with the younger beer geeks, beer snobs, etc. But I really like this one because I like the balance of it. I like the big malt stickiness early on. I like that stone fruit note in the middle. I just like everything about it. So hey, I'm through it.
Well, how do you do my career? This is probably my last one. I'm having a Proto. I described it as a straightforward pale ale. They didn't know the exact numbers. He thought it was 6.2. They weren't sure of the IBUs. I thought it might be around 60. You know, he gave me a sample. I was going to order anyway, so sample it first. I took a drink. I was about to say no, never mind, and then a flavor hit me. I wasn't sure what that flavor was, but it was enough to talk me into ordering the beer. So let me show it to you. It pours beautiful, just a beautiful golden there, as you can see. The aroma is very interesting. Sometimes it's hard to tell the sample because in this case they use a half pint glass, an 8 ounce half pint glass. Pour that much in there, it's kind of tough to get the aroma. But as I get it here, oh man, it is very interesting. It's a little peppery on the nose. It's not necessarily huge, but there are aromas there. Yes, okay. So I've had a MILF, I've had a winter grind, I've had a making trouble. Yes, maybe my senses aren't at their best at the moment. I'm admitting that freely. Something many beer guys don't do, but anyway. Yes, I'm actually drinking beer. I'm not drinking 2 ounces, writing a review, and putting the beer off to the side. I actually drink the whole beer every time. The body's interesting on this. I'm having a hard time figuring out some flavors, which is the main reason I really wanted to order one. Because my initial assessment was, when I took a drink, and the first part of the beer seemed very light, and I was about to say no, but then I got that finish, and I went, oh, but it was intriguing enough to make me want to say yes. And I'm still having that issue. I'm not figuring everything out, but that finish of this beer is so exquisite, it makes me want to drink more. I get some pleasant toasted malt up front. Until it gives way to that dry hoppage where I get some of those, you know, again, what I described as tropical sound notes, the mango, passion fruit, pineapple, etc., all that stuff. But it feels different than most of those beers. It's just the way it comes together feels differently. So I've had a couple sips here. I'm going to put it off to the side, let it warm just a touch. I'm going to come back and do an addendum to it and see, you know, if I can decipher some of those notes. I want to sit, relax, and drink. See if I can figure out some of those notes. I'm not quite figuring out yet. I'll be back. I'm Tony Beer Whisperer. Wow, I love my mother's. You should too. And actions. I'm back with this Proto Pale, and to be honest, I'm still trying to figure out some flavors here. So before this, I mean, I've had some big beers tonight, right? I've had the Mother's MILF, which is an imperial stout that's aged with cocoa nibs, or that's brewed with cocoa nibs and raisins and aged in rum, brandy, bourbon, rum, brandy, bourbon, whiskey, and sherry barrels.
I've also had the wintergreen coffee stout, the vanilla version. Then I had the Making Trouble, the big double IPA. Now I'm having this one. So I'm going to be honest with you, my my palate isn't as fresh. So I'm trying to figure out flavors. And I'll tell you the truth, if I didn't know better, I would think this was a small beer from the Making Trouble, because it has a lot of the same flavors, just in a more subtle, subdued way. I'm sure it's not, but are you following me? I'm kind of getting the same flavors I was getting from that big Making Trouble double IPA, but just more, in a more subtle way. Even I don't know what I'm talking about at this point. The body is somewhat light and the finish is extremely crisp. And in between all of that is some interesting peppery notes. With again some light and subdued, subtle fruit-like notes. I mean I'm certainly getting there's some mango passion fruit, there's some other things going on in there. It almost feels like a small beer from the Making Trouble. But that could also be because, I just finished the Making Trouble before I got it. Maybe that's just on my mind. The bottom line is I'm probably going to have this again and have it first so I get a fresh look at it. But the truth is I do find it interesting enough to order it again. If this ever came out in 6-packs, I would certainly buy it because it is interesting. You see, every time now I'm getting something else I wasn't getting before. Now as I've let this sit a while and warm up a bit, I'm getting some lemony notes, but not more like lemongrass than actual lemon, if that makes sense to you. If you've ever smelled lemongrass, it doesn't smell like, the aroma isn't that of smelling a lemon, it's more of lemongrass on the nose. There's something else in the body that, again, I haven't quite deciphered yet, but at this point my palate could be just dead from it could have stout fatigue at this point. Either way, the bottom line, I think it's a great beer. I think everything they do here is incredible. I like it enough to order it again because I don't think I'm giving it, I don't think I'm able to really feel everything it has to offer because of what I've had before this. And so anyway, it's time to Beer Whisperer. Oh, I'm having a heck of a time at Mother's tonight. I hope you're having a good night. I'll talk to you later. Well, how do you do, y'all? I'm doing a video. This is my last. So, folks, this is my last beer. So, folks wanted to share my table. So I told them I'm going to be here about 10 more minutes. Well, they're welcome to it. So, my last beer of the night is a Nitro chocolate beer. So, I took a couple photos, and I actually did a short video of it cascading so you can see it finishing up. This uses Askinosie chocolate, which is a local chocolatier. There's a great big chocolate quarter. You can tell. I don't know if you can see that head there. See how creamy that beer is. Oh, biscuits, that's good. I started with 2 stouts. I started with a big imperial stout. I went to a coffee stout. I then went to a double IPA, and then went all the way to an American Pale Ale. So I'm back to a porter. So I've been, made it quite a circle tonight. They just got so many great beers here. So many, just so many different styles here at Mother's. It just amazes me. Back in about the mid-90s, a brew pub opened
It was the first one here in Springfield, Missouri, called the Rye Bread and Apple Cores. They only had 4 beers, and I can't remember what they all were at the moment. I know they had a Kolsch and they had a Stout. I think they had a Wheat, and they might have had a Pale Ale. I just don't remember that other one. And they were actually very good. But I guess my point being is there wasn't a lot of choices available back then. And here I'm at Mother's, and there's just so many beers on that board. It's just amazing. They just cover so much ground. The Great Wood Pales, the Great Wood IPAs. But the porters and stouts, they just knock it out of the park as well. Eskimosi chocolate has actually become known around the world here in Springfield, Missouri. They are just that good. This is that Eskimosi chocolate. You get this big kind of dark, 80% dark chocolate note on the nose. It's very earthy, very herbal. The flavor is mostly chocolate. There are slight hints of coffee. Again, I'm going to claim, palate fatigue because of everything I've mentioned. I had the making trouble. I had the MILF. I've had just a lot tonight, so I may not be feeling everything for all it's worth. But I got to tell you, this thing is gorgeous. If you ever come in here, if you're a stout or porter drinker, and some of the specialty stuff isn't on, this is one you really got to have. Because it is Springfield, right? It is Springfield, Missouri. It is, Mother's here in Springfield. It is Eskimosi chocolate. So I think this beer is almost the personification of Springfield. I am Tom the Beer Whisperer. I am wrapping up my day or my evening or whatever it is out by this brewery. Hey, I love everybody at this moment. I'll tell you that right now.